everyone, this is Carla from Art with Katie. Welcome back to my channel. Today I have a new unboxing video for you. This time I purchased myself a new notebook. You know that I love bullet journaling and everything that has to do with art and art supplies. And well, I was running out of space in my previous bullet journal, the Leuchtturm, and I wanted to see what other options there were around. So I found out this beautiful notebook by Jumping Fox and I wanted to try it out. It's such a lovely color and I wanted just to know if it was a good option for a bullet journal. The last time I did an unboxing of a notebook for you was when Letra Azul and my friend Susel handcrafted a notebook for me. That's the current bullet journal that I'm using and I cannot love it anymore. So make sure to check that video out. But I also have a video that has quite a few options if you're just starting into bullet journaling or you don't know what other notebooks you could potentially use for your bullet journal. So make sure to check it out. As always, you'll see me comparing this new notebook to the Leuchtturm. Why? Well, because it is the official bullet journal notebook. But you know that there's many options out there to make a beautiful journal. And I want you to have as many options as possible. So make sure to check out the video in which I compare a lot of my notebooks and also the playlist that I have dedicated to art and bullet journal supplies. I know you're gonna enjoy that. So without further ado, let's just dig in and see this new notebook. Some months back, I ordered a new notebook that I wanted to share with you. Because there's a lot of options regarding notebooks, and specifically for bullet journaling, we usually like to go with a dotted grid notebook. And well, I'm all for getting a notebook that has a good quality, that helps my materials perform amazingly, and of course that are pretty and easy to the eye. And I have tried some of the most famous notebooks like the Leuchtturm and the Doodles That Matter, but I haven't tried them all. Like, I cannot wait to try an Archer and Olive, an Amidori, and so many other notebooks out there that I honestly want to get my hands on. But I found out a really interesting option for us. This is my new notebook. It's the Jumping Fox Designs, and it's a notebook with a hardcover and an A5 size and a dotted grid on its pages. And online, it just seemed like a beautiful option for any of us to use as our bullet journal. And yeah, so I don't know when I'm gonna start using it, but today we're gonna do a test and potentially a cover for this new notebook. So let's dig in. Okay, I need a cutter. Yes. This is so satisfying for me. Although there it goes. I would have tried to open it nicely, but then there's no emotion in this whole experience. So okay, so it slides out, which is nice. This is how it came packed. Besides was it an envelope that I received it? Maybe, probably, potentially. And here it is. I thought it was such a beautiful color. I love purple, I really do. And I want you to eventually see it next to my Leuchtturm, which is, the bullet journal notebook. But here it is. It says that it has a hardcover
A5 pages, which is 120 times 210 millimeters, 140 number pages that are dotted, of course, table of contents, 8 perforated sheets, expandable pocket, elastic enclosure band, double bookmark, opens flat, it's ink proof, and it's acid free. And I got it on Amazon, but you can get it at www.jumpingfoxdesigns.com, and it's decided in California and made in China, if you're interested in knowing. And yeah, I thought it was a really nice option for those of us who love a good deal. Let me put my log trim aside. Just so that you can see the difference in sizes. It's pretty much the same size. I think the Jumping Fox is it's a little bit taller, and regarding it's like the log trim's a little bit wider. Now on the side, I cannot really tell because this one's been quite used and this one's brand new. But I'm gonna put their specific qualities, I guess, right next to each other. You know that I love comparing them so that you have the fairest of comparisons. You know that I like to put that little grid so you can see how they're similar and different. And we're just gonna jump in to the Jumping Fox. I know I'm so good at jokes, right? Anyway, no, but we're really gonna look into its cover, its size, the number of pages they have, its layout, the paper, like how thick it is, how thin it is, if it has any special features, its price. We're gonna do the pen test that I was telling you about, and we're gonna see if there's any other specific things that we'd like to know compared to the Leuchtturm. And you know, I compare them to the Leuchtturm because it's the official bullet journal notebook. In this case, they both have a hardcover. The page size is supposed to be the same, A5. This one has 249 pages, while this one we just found that it has 140, something to consider. They both have dotted pages. The paper is supposed to be creamy in both cases. This one's ink proof, this one's too ink proof, and we're gonna find out the rest soon enough. So let me put this aside so that we can dig in. So here it is. I thought the cover was beautiful. If you see, they also have this, how do you call, like, they have this beautiful detail on the outer part of the pages. So here it is. It says, in a world full of choices, thank you for selecting a Jumping Fox design product. I really like the logo. You can see it here as well. And here we have, from all of us here at Jumping Fox Design, we want to express our sincere gratitude for your purchase. Jumping Fox Designs is a California-based woman-run business built around our passion for creating high-quality products. It is such an honor to provide you with a blank canvas for your thoughts, plans, and ideas. We're so grateful for your support that builds us up, inspires us to respond with innovation and creativity, and never backs down from a challenge. We want to especially thank those of you who chose to leave us feedback and review, which are essential to small businesses. We would love to hear from you. If you have any suggestions to help us improve our products, please drop us an email at hello@jumpingfoxdesigns.com. Thank you for being on the journey with us. Grace and Susanna. So great. I love these sort of details. It makes a difference for me. And just FYI, this is not a sponsored video. I bought this from Amazon with my money because I was interested in learning about this product, and what better way to learn about them than, well, owning one. So you can see it's hardcover. This is very nicely done so that you don't, lose any pages. It has a space for you to write your name and with a thank you in case you misplace it, that it is returned to you. We all know that we don't want to lose a notebook. This is like a thicker paper, which is always nice, especially at the beginning. And then here it is, a table of contents. I know some people appreciate to have a table of contents. I'm lazy and I don't use them as well as I could, but I do appreciate the space because I don't have to draw one. Because even if I don't use it much, I do have one. And then here's the first page. You can see the dot grid. It's, I don't know how big's the spacing. Yeah, about half a centimeter in between spaces. They're numbered as promised. You can see here's the thread of how it is bounded, glued together. Let's see in the middle. I like it that it's really closed. Like you cannot see like the opening in the middle. And here are the bookmarks. As promised, there's two. I wanted to see how flat they opened. This is about half, like the mid part of the notebook. And it seems pretty, opens flatly. I love that sound. Anyway, let's go to the back. We have the elastic enclosure. We also have this envelope here in the back, which is always really useful. Here's something that we can scan to subscribe and save. And here you can see that these are detachable. So we should have here from page 125, these we could, detach. If we wanted, we could detach these pages because they're perforated. And that comes handy when you make a mistake and you want to cover it up. I honestly don't do mistakes. No, kidding. No, I honestly just use another piece of paper. I don't like ripping the pages away. Of course, I never try to rip up the perforated pages, so that could be a difference. Because sometimes when you cut something, there's a little bit of paper there that I don't like. To just be there cut, and then it might detach. Although again, if you see here, I'm sort of like impressed of how tightly it's bound. And before, I remember thinking that 2 bookmarks were a little bit too much, but now I find that if I don't have 2, I really need them. So again, that's, I guess, with use, you get a system going for you. And then when you don't have them, you miss them. I just wanted you to see the color of the paper compared. This one's a little bit more yellowy. This one's a little bit whiter, but they're both cream. So just something to consider. I know that I thought I liked paper better when it was like closer to white. When I started using this notebook, the Leutrum, I was like a little bit not super in love with the color of the paper, and eventually I got used to it. So I have to say that I do like this color more. Now, regarding the thickness of the paper, I'll find out how thick they are, but it feels like the Jumping Fox paper is a little bit thicker. Again, I mean, you're not gonna see much here, but this one feels thicker, which is something I like, cause, you know, I like to use markers and sometimes I use watercolors and whatnot. So we're gonna do the pen test. But yeah, here they are, one next to the other. And I'll make sure to put those facts comparing one to the other. Let me do the grid so we can have the pen test, and we'll talk in a little bit. So now that I have the grid, we're gonna test some pens. So there shouldn't be a lot of issue with pens. As you can see, there's no ghosting whatsoever, and they look really well, and they dried almost immediately. Now let's continue with the fine liners. I also don't anticipate issues with the fine liners. As you can see, there's none. These are usually what I use to write, and I know I shouldn't be concerned at all, but sometimes with the gel ink and markers, we can have some like ghosting. So here, for example, you can see a little bit of what I did on the other side when I was doing this grid to try out the markers. This is actually a fine liner. Because it is thick, you can see that it, I guess, passes a little bit. Like this one, you can see them more. But I don't mind that sort of, I guess, passing of the ink, as long as they don't damage the paper. And just because I'm trying some metallic gel pens, let me use a little bit of black. Now with this, I had a little bit more of an issue because I'm running out of ink, but not because of anything else. And you can see the paper also sort of hold them a little bit well. This is more of a pen issue than a paper issue. You need to let them dry. Usually when they're yellow, you can see that the Crayola, even though it was the last, it was the one that didn't really had any issue. But if we go to the other side, even with the fine liner and the gel pen, it didn't do a lot of damage to the paper. So that's good. But keep in mind that when you use gel, you need to wait a little bit before you do anything else. Also, if you have not seen my videos on the Crayola alternative unboxings that I've done, you should check them out, because right now I'm gonna start using a lot of my Crayola markers, and I'm sure you're gonna have some questions that I'm almost positive my videos will answer for you. They're great products. I love Crayola. They're affordable, they're easy to use, and I wish it would sponsor me because I will save a lot of money in markers, but they don't. I actually recommend them to you because I love them since I was a child, and I keep loving them. They look gorgeous in any notebook. Now, I didn't expect any issues with this because the ink that they use for Crayola is very, very nice in terms of not damaging the paper and the quality and the colors. But the next few that I'm gonna try, let's see how the paper reacts to them. Now, all of this I've been really enjoying, both the metallics and the glitter. Although, especially with the glitter, the recommendation is that we let them dry. See, you can see a little bit of glitter in my hand, and if I go through it with my finger, I'll make a little bit of a mess. But again, that's not necessarily the paper, it's the marker, and it even says so on the box. And as you see, once again, we didn't get any sort of damage in the paper. So far, pretty good with the pens and fine liners, and a really good job with the gel ink and markers. But I want to try out some other things, like my art markers and watercolors. Now, art markers aren't really recommended for these sort of notebooks. It honestly isn't. I'm just a little bit distracted because I'm looking for a piece of paper to put behind where we're gonna write, because I know the drill and I don't want to damage my notebook. Now, as expected, these just go all the way through the paper and even damage here my little flashcard. And that's without even mixing them. So again, art markers aren't really recommended for just any notebook. You need special paper for them. So it's something to consider, especially because you don't want these to happen to something else here in your notebook, right? Now, just because I've used watercolors in my Doodles That Matter notebook and they work quite well, I just wanted to see what would happen if I use my Sakura watercolors here in this page. See how well they handle the ink, I guess. So it's not that bad, not from this side. And here they seem pretty well. Isn't it interesting that we're using water for the watercolors and they damage the paper, but it's really art markers that make the most damage. And I also have a video when I was trying this out, and I love them. They're beautiful and I should use them more often. So check that out as well. And last but not least, my metallic watercolors from Koratake. Let's see. Now that I remember, let me just fill one with black ink so that we can see if the watercolor is visible through it. Because on top of the white paper they can't really show. At least I don't see them a lot. And it's not because there's not pigment. I think it's because of the clarity of the paper. So hopefully this black ink had enough time to dry. And I'm gonna try this color. See, it's not perfect. And it might be the same in terms of transparency. They're quite transparent. See-through, you can see the whatever color the paper is or whatever color you have behind the watercolor. Like in this case, I put some black color. And yeah, you can, I guess, see through it. Which is something that I love about these watercolors. And something to be aware when you're using it. If you notice, I think that because the color or the pen that I use, it's a fine liner, it's permanent ink, I didn't damage it with water, but we can try something like this, which is water-based, and see how they react to having them mix with the water and the watercolor pigment. I'm just gonna make sure that I'm covered here. And let's go for the lightest color. It looks really lovely, although I think the ink, see how it went purple here a little bit. So because it is water ink in that marker, that's why the colors are mixing. You can see it a little bit here, and then you won't be able to see anything. Let me put some more. You can see how they mix a little bit. It's nice to experiment with every material medium that you have and know that you can create more effects. I also have a video when I'm trying out these watercolors, and then some other videos in which, one video I think, in which I'm using them for design. So I'm gonna make sure to leave the links on top of the screen. And here again, if I go to the back, this part that got the mix of the fine liner and the marker and the water has a little bit of damage. It sort of like wanted to get through the other side, but it didn't completely happen. Although if I were to use this side of the page, which at the moment I'm not, I would have to be really careful. Like this, I probably have to cover with something, with another piece of paper, something, which is something that you can always do. It's just something to consider and be aware. And at the moment, I'm not gonna use these spaces that I left. Probably I'm gonna use them later to try out some other pens. We don't know yet, but I'm just gonna write the title, and then we're gonna wrap up this video with my final impressions. Now, just for fun, I wanted to compare how this notebook held the ink compared to others. This is the Micron, and as you can see, they look pretty well. This one had no issue with pens like we saw, and this one we cannot see anymore because I tried my liners on this part of the page, so we will never know how much they could have been damaged. And with the gel and the markers, here you can see that the Crayola Super Tips and the Prismacolor Premier ghosted a little bit. And the Sharpie permanent marker, I didn't try a Sharpie permanent marker. Nice to notice, but here with the markers, I didn't have as many issues because I told you the paper seems a little bit thicker. I need to find out about the thickness of it. Okay, so Leuchtturm. Then the latest I unboxed it with you guys was the Sailor Moon limited edition from Moleskine. And here we have the pen test with the fine liners. You can see that these ones, the paper feels thinner. This is basically for drawing or mainly for drawing. You can see even the pens. No, you can't. Here you can see the pens even had a little bit of an issue. So of course the markers had also issues. Although here, as you can see, in the permanent, I tried the Ohuhu markers, and well, we just saw that in this case the Ohuhu markers also have plenty of issues. But again, this paper feels much thicker than this one. Although this is a beautiful, beautiful notebook, and if you haven't seen the unboxing, you should. And lastly, I just want you to see how it looks like compared to my beautiful actual bullet journal, or my current bullet journal, which is a lovely artisanal notebook that was handmade for me, and I love it. I am so in love with it. And here's the pen test. You can see here that even the pens had a little bit of an issue, and you can see a little bit of ghosting with the fine liners, because again, these paper feels should be similar to the Mom Knot. That's another one that I have. You can see that video out, but no, this is similar to the Leuchtturm. And with the gel pens and the markers, you can see here that I had some issues with the Prismacolor Premier, which are the same, the art markers that I've been telling you that aren't the best bet with any notebook. But if you can see here, even the gel pen ghosted a little bit. You can see the fine liners here, and you can see most of the markers, they ghosted through. Not the same issue with this one. So again, something to consider depending on the medium that you want to use. You can see this is a beautiful notebook, and I've used it quite a lot. I planned November here, and I planned December, and I'm looking forward to do some more planning. But I just need to be really aware of what type of ink I used to decorate it. So it is a beautiful, beautiful notebook and a great option for journaling or bullet journaling. I know now that you can give yourself a better idea of what you could be using or not with the notebook, and if it fits your needs, I know that you're gonna get it, and I'm gonna leave the link right below. Then whenever I find a material that I know you're gonna appreciate and use, I like to share them with you.
So what do you think of the new notebook? I honestly love it. I love the color. It has a beautiful design, and I don't know if I should just wait till I finish my other journal or start the year with a new bullet journal notebook. What do you think? I love the idea of starting the year with a new notebook, but I also don't wanna, just stop using my current bullet journal notebook because it has a lot of space for many different spreads. So if you have any idea of what I should do, just leave me a comment. If you're new for bullet journaling or just want fresh ideas for your journal, don't forget to check out my Bullet Journal 101 setup playlist. There's a lot of things that I know you're gonna find that are valuable for anyone loving bullet journaling. You know that I love to hear your thoughts and opinions, so don't forget to leave me a comment. And if you like this video, I really appreciate a thumbs up. Every single month I have a new theme related to art or things that I like anime, manga, cartoons, and movies, so that we can plan together for a new month. If you're liking my content, consider subscribing to my channel. Every week I share with you videos related to art or bullet journaling. Thank you for visiting today, and remember to visit next week. As always, keep creative, keep safe, and remember to be super kind. And I'll see you real soon. Bye! Please like and share my video, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. See you next time!